Hello, everyone. It's me, Timmy from Tim Jong-un Productions, and I would like to say that once again, the audio in this episode is scuffed. It's been fucked. Luca's audio is fine. It's not her problem. Instead, it's my audio and Jules's audio that's been fucked this time. My problem isn't as egregious as Jules. I disappear near the end of Bullet Train and the beginning of Prey, and Jules just kind of disappears halfway through the Moffie discussion until the end of the episode. So sorry about that. We're still trying to work things out right now. I know we're huge disappointments. What can you do? But we tried to make this episode the best we could based on the fucked audio that we got. So hopefully you'll still enjoy. Bye.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the third episode of the Far Off Films podcast. I'm Luca, and we're joined with these people. Just want to take a brief moment to apologize about the last episode. I know it was scuffed as fuck, but we're trying our best here. We're getting used to it.
We're only using 1% of our power.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, who's everyone else? Yeah.
Yeah, Jules from The Walrus Man. And yeah.
That's never gonna get old.
Yeah, it never gets old. Yeah.
All right, Jules, fire away.
What crazy shit did you have for us this time?
Oh, I've only got 2 stories today.
That's fine.
Did you click on the first thing, Timmy?
No, because again, you kept telling.
I did.
Yeah.
I did because I knew it was going to be a threat towards Timmy.
You didn't give a shit if Luca did it. It just mattered if I did it. Yeah.
Oh no, read it, Timmy. It's very funny.
Okay. Hold on. Let me take a look at it real quick.
Read it out loud.
Car engine shit. Okay. All right. Just tell us the fucking. Okay. Yeah. So it is the HBO Max thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I got 2 for you. One you'll probably already heard about. It's the Batgirl shit. Do we want to talk about that?
I mean, I guess I feel like we have to. How do you guys feel about all? Because we're all a part of the film Discord chat, and I feel like I've given my extensive. I mean, I'm gonna say them again, but like I feel like you guys are like kind of vaguely aware of like my general thoughts about all this, but I guess I'm kind of more interested in what you guys think about all this stuff. So,
I mean, I think it's just kind of like very, very alarming that you can just like a project's like 95% done and you can just go out and just axe it and just it'll never see the light of day. It must be buried in some vault somewhere. Like,
yeah, it's kind of scummy, but
yeah.
So here's the thing. I'm kind of looking at this from 2 different angles. On the one end, from an artistic angle, like, this is like a piece of shit thing to do. Like, this is a scummy thing to do. Like, okay, so like I'm not exactly sure like what the deal is. According to the test reports, it kind of varies. Like some outlets said like this movie was supposed to be like a piece of shit. Apparently, like it was just god awful. It was dog shit. And other reports are saying it wasn't that bad. It was kind of decent. Either way, I have never seen footage of this movie. I was probably never gonna see this movie anyway. But
I would have
from an artistic angle,
Brendan Fraser was going to play the villain.
Oh, was he? I did not know that.
Yeah, he was going to play like, the pyromaniac villain.
Oh,
that
man. Now I got to reevaluate my thoughts then about this.
Look up the photos of him on set in his costume. It looks badass.
All right, I will. Hold on. Yeah. No, but what I was saying is, like from an artistic perspective, this is a scummy thing to do. Because, like, even if this movie is a piece of shit, let's just assume it's a piece of shit. Like, this is still something that people still gave enough of a shit about to make. Like directors were hired to make this film, writers were hired to make this film, actors and actresses were hired to like be in the film, and then all the special effects departments and people, artists, it's and the movie is like, and it's like 95% done, so you might as well just dump it on HBO Max at that point. But at the same time, from a business angle, I think there is a little more sympathy to be given to this decision because, yes, this is kind of a shitty thing to do, and just to write it off as a tax write-off that's kind of a scummy thing to do. But from what I understand, the CEO is trying to create a new direction for not just DC but for Warner Media in general. So how the previous the CEO, the previous leadership, they did this bullshit move where it's oh, we're gonna release all of our movies both on HBO Max and in theaters, and we're gonna do this
fair, I think most
straight to
studios did
HBO
that.
Max bullshit. Yeah, but but think about it from a long term perspective, because this broke a lot of trust and partnerships. Nolan literally told Warner Media to fuck off, and he went off to join Universal and do this other bullshit, and make his Oppenheimer movie. And a lot of friendships and relationships were broken. And the new CEO is kind of looking at this and okay, the previous leadership, fuck all that shit. We're gonna reevaluate. We're gonna refocus on theatrical experiences. We're going to refocus on we're gonna refocus on making sure the DC brand is actually good and it's not a laughable piece of shit. Even though I would love to see 100 more Aquaman sequels, but whatever, that's just me. And he's and he's trying to kind of brand just the Warner Media as a whole. Now, it does scare me that the former CEO comes from the fucking Discovery background, where what the fuck is on Discovery these days that's worth watching.
CNN.
But
I think they own CNN.
No, I thought,
and we all know how
was
CNN Plus.
Yeah, I guess so. But I think this is, from a business perspective, I think this is kind of a bold strategy. Now, from an artistic perspective, this is scummy as fuck. It's a piece of shit move. But from a business angle,
disgusting move.
I am interested to see where this goes within the next 2 to 3 years, because who knows, it might pay off. But I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, what if this was all just what if this was all some genius marketing tactic to drum up interest in the film? Because no one was talking about this film before. I just had it in,
a Sonic
mind.
thing where they purposely put out a bad design. I'm gonna press X to doubt on that one. I don't think they're smart enough for shit like that, but who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sets an extremely bad precedent. I hope this doesn't happen again. What if they do this to I mean, I don't know if they will, but the Furiosa movie, I don't know if you've heard of the amount of conflict George Miller had with Warner Bros. On Fury Road. So it doesn't make me confident.
To be fair, he proved them wrong. The movie was critically acclaimed. It won all the technical awards at the Oscars, and it made its money. So they're probably just gonna be look, we're sorry. Maybe. I mean, it didn't make Avengers level money or anything like that, but it still made money. Yeah. So, and that's all that really matters, I guess. So, but yeah, I mean, and to be fair, a lot of people have reassured that most shows aren't canceled. James Gunn has said stop freaking the fuck out. Peacemaker season 2 will be okay. Not that I gave a shit. I thought Peacemaker season 1 wasn't even that great, if I'm being honest. But he's don't worry, Peacemaker season 2.
It's still, I'll still watch.
Yeah, if you saw his the Suicide Squad movie, it's literally just more of that, just on TV. So take that as you will.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. I'm not sure what it means for other stuff, because here's the thing. A lot of HBO Max content is being shut down, essentially, because they're trying to move away. Well, this is never an official. Everyone's been saying, oh, they're gonna get rid of scripted content and move away to reality TV. To be fair, I've never seen an actual statement from Warner Media stating that that's what's going to happen. This is just a bunch of speculative bullshit that I keep hearing.
I'm pretty sure there was a statement.
Really? Because in my mind, some shows are just not worth investing. I don't know. I don't know what HBO Max shit is worth watching, because I'm because there's a difference between HBO Max and HBO. HBO, from what I understand, I guess except vinyl, because fuck Martin Scorsese, is pretty much safe because they're still going to continue investing. Like, they're not going to stop investing in shit like Succession. That's just not going. That's a stupid move to do. Like, why would Succession is currently like the biggest thing right now. Like, why would you stop investing in that? And even some HBO Max like shows, like, you're not going to stop investing in like Our Flag Meets Death. Like, Our Flag Meets Death is like really, really popular right now. Like, I really enjoyed the show. Like, you're not going to stop investing in that show, like, when it has such a large fan base, you know? So, like, I think we need to be a little realistic about this, where it goes, you know, yes, this seems like a major overhaul, but I think like this whole like, oh, what's going to be shut down, what's going to be cut, like, I think that's a little exaggerative, and I think we should just be a little reasonable on that end. But I feel like I've been talking a lot. I want to hear more of your guys' thoughts. Yeah, so what do you guys think?
I mean, I kind of said all I really wanted to say. It's not much. I think it's pretty bad news.
I think it's kind of bullshit, honestly. Like,
It is.
Whatever.
It's
they're trying to
bullshit.
do like this remarketing, whatever. Like, they still could have done that and then like also released these movies, because these were essentially, from what I know, movies that were nearly completed, that tons of people put effort into creating. There's tons of people behind the scenes that had to do visual effects and cinematography. There's a fuck ton of people that probably like all their work now just means nothing. Like, it's awful. It's like, maybe if the films like were announced and maybe a bit of like shooting happened, but then they were cut off, it's fine. But like, that Scooby-Doo movie was like almost fully animated. Like, the Batgirl movie was like almost done. Like, it's
the Scoob movie, that was better.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
No one cared about that one as much. No one cared about that one as much.
No, I mean, even if I don't care about the movies, there's some people that do. Like, the people that made the movies care about the movies, just to like have that like dumped on you, being like, oh, hey, you know, this movie's never going to get released now, even though you put all this work into it. It's like, I think it's fucking awful, and
it's a double whammy as well, because then
like even if they didn't want to release them
about your movie
theaters,
being cancelled, they just care
they
about
could have
the other
just
one.
dumped it on HBO Max or like somewhere, so it could at least get money, like at least get some of your money back from what you did, because now it's just you're just not going to get
tax
that back.
Write-off.
Like, yeah, like it's unlikely that they will make the money back that they spent on it.
Yeah, I'm not
tax write-off.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Yeah, I like I said, like, I think this from an artistic level, this is scummy as shit. Yeah, like, just dump that shit on HBO Max. You can still do this remarketing thing, but like, still dump, because like people spend time making those movies, you know. And I think, and I'm not sure, I forgot where I found this, but I remember they seem to be cutting ties with like Clint Eastwood, because apparently Clint Eastwood wants to make another movie, and then like David Zaslav's like, why are we giving him money to like make another movie that'll flop? Because like, what was his last movie, Cry Macho or some shit like that? I didn't see it because I don't give a fuck, but yeah, and they were like, well, we're giving him money because like he gave us money before and he won a bunch of Oscars. He did it on tour, and he's like, well, and David Zaslav's like, well, you know, we don't owe him anything. We don't owe him, you know, shit. And I'm like, dude, come on, like. I understand Clint Eastwood's not like a marketable force anymore, but like the dude's almost 100. Just give him money to make whatever he wants and then let him die peacefully. Like, come on, man. Jesus.
Like, that shows like the level of like respect that you have for like the filmmakers who are making the stuff that makes you money. Like,
yeah, but at the same time though, I think that like this, if they could, they would just drive over to Christopher Nolan's house and then drop to their knees and beg him to come back to Warner Media, because he makes money. You know, all of his movies are huge financial successes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's why like he's like one of like 6 directors that I'm aware of that like studios are like saying, hey, you make us money, here's some money, do whatever the fuck you want. You want to make your Paprika ripoff here, go ahead and make it, shit like that. You know, it's like, you know, it's that's just kind of how it is. And, you know, I'm trying to look at it from that angle. Like, if I wasn't someone who gave a shit about film, who gave a shit about art, like, I'm trying to look at it from like the perspective of like these execs and these business people who are running these studios, and like, and if you look at it from that angle, I I'm willing to be a little more sympathetic. You know, I'm going to wait like 2 to 3 years to see like if this strategy pays off. Like, what's that meme with from Dodgeball? It's like a bold move, man. Like, let's see it. Let's hope it pays off or whatever. You know, like that meme's probably the best way to like sum up my reaction. So, but I totally get where you guys are coming from as well. So I'm just trying to like provide a little different perspective. So.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think it just sets like a bad precedent.
Oh yeah, it does, but what can you do? It's the fucking movie industry. It's fucking Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys want the other...
Oh, yes. Yeah, sure, I guess so. What I was just going to say, or just do what Amazon Prime is doing, just burn $2 billion, I guess, on a Lord of the Rings show. They could do that instead. So,
oh my God.
You know... Anyway, yeah, that's all I have to say. Unless you guys have anything else to say, we can move on to the next thing. So
Nah, I don't have anything else to say.
Oh yeah, so I got the other story. Do you guys remember a month ago, Joker 2? And that was all rumblings of that happening.
Joker with the pretentious French subtitle. What was it called? Folie la Dieu or some shit.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, that's confirmed now. That's happening.
Oh wow!
And
so is it really gonna be a musical with Lady Gaga?
Yes.
Jesus
Christ! Wow. I mean, hey, sounds fun. Why not?
What Martin Scorsese movie are they gonna rip off this time?
Apparently, Scorsese might be a producer on it.
Was he not a
He'll make a
producer
new
on the
Martin
first Joker?
Scorsese movie.
No,
I thought he was a producer on the first. No, I swear he was. Okay.
I think if he was a producer on the first Joker, he'd be like, "Yo, what the fuck? Why are you guys ripping off my movies?"
They should do the Wolf of Wall Street this time. That's what the one.
Oh, I
yeah,
hope so.
The Wolf of Joker Street.
The Wolf of Joker Street. If he could do that scene, if we could have Joker on a bunch of Quaaludes and then fuck Harley Quinn like on a bed made out of money, I would be.
Oh, and it's Margot Robbie as well. Yeah. It'll be.
No! I thought it was
this time
Lady Gaga.
It's Lady Gaga now.
Yeah, Lady Gaga.
But they'll bring Suicide Squad Harley Quinn.
They'll kill her off and replace her with Lady Gaga.
They'll do some multiverse thing where like the other Harley Quinn
meets this
one or some shit.
Jesus Christ! I really. Is Jared Leto going to show up in this one too?
The DC
I'm putting together a team.
Multiverse.
The different Jokers. There's going to be everyone. There's going to be the Jared Leto Joker. There's going to be the Mark Hamill
the
Joker.
Joker-verse.
Yeah, the Joaquin Phoenix. We're going to bring
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger back from the dead so that he can
CG
Heath Ledger. It's Legend time.
That would probably be pretty successful.
Yeah, I mean,
if you had like
I'd
all the
I'd go see
Batmans
that.
from across the years and like all the Jokers from across the years, like each on a team, and then have them fight each other.
Well, that's what this. Well, I mean, I don't know if this Flash movie is still ever going to happen because apparently Ezra Miller, like, robbed a bank or some shit, like, started a cult.
They've done every crime imaginable. They should be in jail.
Yeah, well, apparently, if this Flash movie is still happening, then technically it's going to do what you said, which is it's going to bring back Michael Keaton's Batman.
I saw something about the Flash.
Yeah, did you see the updates today that what Warner Bros. Is considering? That and one of them is that he gives a public interview about his erratic behavior.
I laughed at that. I was like, there is no
I
fucking way
really want to see that.
You're gonna get that. You are so delusional. You really think Ezra Miller, like, who is just running around robbing banks, beating the shit out of the state of Hawaii, and then like grooming like 16-year-old like girls and shit like that, and like arming
keeping
himself.
a mother and a child in like a gun-filled barn.
Yeah, like you really think they're gonna have to like take like 10 minutes of their time to say, "Hey guys, let me explain why I've become the real life. Let's talk about Kevin." Like, come on, no, like be realistic.
It'll be like the Robert De
Yeah.
Niro scene from Joker in real life.
Oh God, that'd be awesome. I want to see that. I've been
Yeah, I
saying,
guess Ezra Miller is on their Joker arc at the moment. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why all I've been saying, like, this started out as a meme, but I really want this. Just deep fake the Flash with like
Nathan Fielder.
with Nathan Fielder, yeah, and just for the promotion, just have it be a part of his show, be a part of his HBO show, The Rehearsal. Like, bam, problem solved, and you're marketing yourself,
Yeah.
because DC and HBO are under the same umbrella. So I see this as an absolute win. So just do what I say. Just replace his
You
face
didn't quote
with-
Avengers Endgame.
with Nathan Fielder, and then promote it that way, and just forget.
gosh.
What were we
Well-
talking about? Joker. Yeah. Anyway, Joker 2.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have any strong thoughts. I didn't particularly like the first Joker, if I'm being honest. I saw countless better movies that came out in 2019, and the only reason anyone gave a shit was because middle-aged neckbeards started complaining that an actual good movie won Best Picture and not, their stupid comic book movie. That was a
Robert
wild time.
Storms.
Yeah,
That was so
so-
fun.
Yeah.
If
I-
honestly,
I mean,
if they're,
I
if
sounds
they're
had
really
fun.
a
going,
blast of a time. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, what were you saying? Yeah.
oh wait, Luca, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have really strong. I'll see it. Like, I like
Oh,
the
yeah, I'll
first
see it.
Joker. Even if it wasn't the best movie, I still liked it. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Like, Lady Gaga. She's a music person.
Yeah,
could do
but
some cool
I
stuff.
guess just like
Sasuguchi.
Todd Phillips is
Yeah.
just a director I don't particularly because I started watching. I remember I've seen some of his films in the past. Like I've seen some of the Hangover movies, and I saw like War Dogs, the
I've never
movie
seen
with Jonah
those.
Hill. Yeah, and like those
he did
movies
War
do the
Dogs?
same thing. Yeah, those movies do the exact same thing as what Joker did, where it's like rather than come up with his own artistic style, he just fucking rips off other directors and other people's like movies and styles, and just call it his. Because in the first Hangover, it has like all this other shit, like fucking A Beautiful Mind is in there. All like like Ocean's. Like, I'm not joking. Like just watch the movie and you'll know what the hell I'm talking about.
Wait, A
and then
Beautiful
War
Mind
Dogs,
and Ocean's 11.
yeah, and then War Dogs, like
Oh
it's just
my.
clearly trying to be like Scarface and shit like that. It's like, dude, can you not come up with your own like style when it comes to directing? Like, can you just like do your own thing? Can you stop ripping off other people? Jesus, like,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Joker 2, I guess. I don't have anything
Yeah.
else to say other than I'll probably watch it. So
I'll
Yeah,
watch it,
maybe-
but I'll say one thing. I think they probably should have. It would have been better if they kept this like it's gonna be a musical thing, like a secret. Like imagine if you just sat down.
That would, yeah,
in the
that would
Yeah,
be
that would
so
be
in the
awesome.
cinema, and then
Yeah.
it just, yeah. And then they start singing like "We live in a society." You're like, what the fuck?
That sounds
it's like why
great.
are it'll be like La La Land. It's like they'll break out.
Yeah,
song and dance.
yeah, it'll be like La La Land but Joker. Oh my god,
Yeah, that's the movie he'll rip off.
Oh,
God,
yeah.
I really hope not.
They're gonna.
The problem
That
is if
sounds
they're
amazing,
trying if
though.
they're
I
trying to
think he
make that
actually
a
cited
secret,
some musical film. He says it takes inspiration off. I don't know offhand though.
I don't know. Probably. I hope it's not something like West Side Story. Otherwise, it'll just bore me to sleep. So,
Mamma Mia Joker edition.
Mamma Mia, here we
Whoa,
go.
whoa.
Here we go in
Joker
society
Mia.
again. Yeah.
Society in a rich man's world.
Oh yeah, he compared it to A Star Is Born.
No, fuck that shit.
Jesus Christ. Which one?
And also, it
Bradley
apparently
Cooper
has
one?
150. Apparently, it has $150 million budget behind it.
Oh, lovely.
That's
something.
about what I expected.
That better give me some really good musical sequences then.
I bet half
Yeah.
of that budget just kind of went to Joaquin and Lala, get Lady Gaga, right?
Yeah, apparently he's getting like, I don't know if this is confirmed, but apparently he's getting paid like $20 million for it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He's found his franchise, I guess. This is the movie that he's willing
Yeah.
to make a ton of, because apparently he was offered the role. He was offered the role of Doctor Strange before Eggs Benedict Cumberbatch
Oh my god.
got the role. So, who would we could have seen a Joaquin Phoenix Doctor Strange in an alternate timeline.
Jesus.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
Ridley
I
Scott
think he's got
trying
his
to make
Joker,
like a
though.
second Gladiator? Will he appear for that?
Didn't he die in the
I-
first one? Spoilers for Gladiator, I guess. Not that anyone gives
I
a
don't
shit,
know.
but didn't he die in the first one?
They can bring him back. To be fair, the main character dies at the end of Gladiator, and he's still trying to
Yeah,
make a
that too. How
sequel.
do you even make a sequel to Gladiator? But then again, how do you make a prequel to Alien? But that didn't stop Ridley Scott from making 2 of those. So
He made 2.
yeah, he made 2 of those. Yeah, but that's
How do you make
all I have.
how do you make like a biblical epic movie if you're an atheist, but somehow he did it?
Yeah, that's what Darren Aronofsky asks himself every single time. How do I make a movie about religion, even though I don't believe in any of this fairy tale bullshit?
Isn't it crazy that those 2 movies came out in the same year? The Ridley
what?
Scott and the Darren Aronofsky religious films.
What was the religious film that? What was it called? The fucking Noah Moses movie. What the hell was that called?
Noah.
No,
Which one-
Noah was
which one?
Darren Aronofsky. Which one? What was the one that Ridley Scott made? It was some stupid title. Exodus, Gods,
yeah,
Gods and Kings. Yeah,
Exodus,
where-
Gods and Kings.
Where they
That might be his
whitewash the
worst
entire,
movie.
where they whitewash the entire cast that are mostly Egyptian people. Yeah, great move there, Red.
Yeah, Christian Bale as Moses.
Yeah, Christian Bale's Moses, and then like Joel Edgerton is like Ramses. Like, what the fuck? Are you serious here, man? Like, come on. Like, you know, if
John
you're gonna
Turturro as
whitewash,
Set.
if you're gonna whitewash like, you know, all of these characters, at least make it animated so that you can just pretend that like Egyptian people worked on it, you know. So that's what Prince of Egypt did. That worked out great for them. So
Oh my god, Prince of Egypt.
yeah, I think it's a solid movie. I remember loving it as a kid.
Oh no,
so.
no you don't. No, you don't.
No, I don't. I remember loving the music at least. Can I say that at least?
No.
Do you not like Prince of Egypt?
No, I fucking hate Prince of Egypt.
Oh, damn. Okay, I
damn.
guess I'll take that off my recommendation list.
No,
Fuck.
if anything, I'm gonna recommend it now just so I can hear your thoughts
It is
about
one of the
Prince
worst
Egypt.
films I've ever seen.
Really,
fucking hate
that
that.
I kind of
I
find
haven't
that
I
seen
hate
it.
that
I haven't
movie
seen
with
it.
a passion.
You haven't seen it?
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I was gonna say, like, as a former Christian, watching Prince of Egypt was one of the better highlights of my time going to church. So, you know.
Did you have like a church excursion to go watch Prince
Yeah.
of Egypt?
Yeah, I think it all kind of went downhill when, you know, my pastor told me that I wasn't allowed to like Harry Potter because I would turn into like a Satan cult worshiper, and I was
He
like,
was ahead
dude,
of his time.
yeah, he would have liked Harry Potter then if he found out about J.K. Rowling's fucking transphobic comment shit. No, he would have been a huge
hated
Harry
it
Potter
even
fan at
more.
that point. Oh, maybe, I don't know. Either way, I was like, yep, if I can't like Harry Potter, fuck you, you know. So now I just don't give a shit anymore. So, you know. Anyway, we can move on now. I mean, if you guys, unless you guys have anything dying to say about Joker 2.
Nah.
Nah.
All right,
Should we
cool.
get on to a movie?
Yeah.
Movie
Speaking of
time.
society.
Speaking of whitewashing.
Yeah, speaking of whitewashing, we saw Bullet Train starring Brad Pitt and directed by the guy who made Yeah. Let's jump right into that fucking train. I didn't even
This
purposely
train
want to do
wreck.
it, but this train wreck. What an e-slapper. But to be fair, that was a better joke than like literally anything this movie like said
Yeah.
for its entire
Thomas the
runtime.
Tank Engine. Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, what a knee slapper. Wasn't it funny when he referenced the Thomas the Tank Engine? He's like, "You're a diesel. You're a motherfucking
It's funny.
diesel."
It's funny because he's an adult talking about a kids show, isn't it? So haha funny.
It's also
random.
funny because
Yeah.
they're on a train.
Yeah, haha.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? It's fun.
It's like
let's
symbolism.
start with
it's like
that.
an A24 film.
The comedy was
Okay.
awful.
Now it's a
Shit.
good movie.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that because I want to start with that. I remember I don't know why, but this was just a random thought. It was the scene where The
that
Lemon
spoilers?
had a spoilers, I guess, by the way. When he pointed a gun at Joey King, he was like, when he said you're Diesel, and it cuts to him like flicking the Diesel sticker on like the fucking like sticker page or whatever before it cuts back to him and Joey King. I'm
we
like,
just gonna
fucking
talk about
really,
the
movie? Movie? Really? Like, did you
Are we just
forget
gonna
that I saw that? Like, you fucking asshole.
That was the problem with the
Jesus.
entire movie. Should we just
I
start with
hated
the
the
terrible
editing.
fucking editing? Yeah.
I hated the editing so fucking much. It was so
Oh,
awful.
is this-
It was genuine cringe. Like, the movie, I really felt like it was treating me like I was stupid. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
Like,
got
the
that
movie
impression
thinks
as well.
it's like cool. It's like, whoa, isn't this cool? It's like when fucking,
callback.
when Bad Bunny shows up, and then we cut to like his fucking backstory and fucking whatever, and then it
The
cuts
Corona beer
back to
product
Brad
placement.
Spit. Yeah, which was really fucking annoying, by the way.
I know.
They do this.
They barely
for
even tried to
fucking
hide that one.
Everything. They just cut to just random bullshit that just isn't funny, and sometimes is just
It's
isn't
like a
integral to
YouTube
the
video
plot.
that's like trying to pad the runtime out to 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was like some shitty Reddit thing where it's like, look, isn't this funny? We're like cutting to like the thing. It's like the thing that really just sort of like made me lose my shit was when they had the balls to like do this backstory shit for the water bottle that that Lemon drank
Oh
from.
my
I was like, really? We have time for this bullshit?
was the
Like,
real
can you
main
just,
character all
Can you just
along.
end the movie already? I want to go home already because like they were dragging out the runtime by doing this unfunny editing style, which I guess they were trying to do for laughs. It didn't deliver on anything that it wanted to accomplish, and it was so fucking annoying. I hated the way that this film was edited together.
Yeah, like when I can just think of so many examples. Like I think the biggest one is when Sandra Bullock comes out of the vehicle, like meets him in person at the end, and it's
And
like
then they
they just
cut
repeat all
to-
their lines. I was like,
Yeah, and then
"Oh
they
my
just
God,
cut the
do you think
yeah.
even like general like normie audiences, do you think they're like this stupid that like they won't just like understand that? Like
And what was that fucking like, fourth wall breaking thing where it's like when Lemon and Tangerine, like when they did their like fucking backstory like stupid bullshit, they looked at the camera and said, haha, check it out, we're counting like the number of people we killed or whatever. Like, what are you trying to go for with that shit? Like, are you trying to be meta? Is this like fucking Deadpool shit or something?
it's trying to look like it has a personality.
Oh, I guess that's what counts as a personality. If you just like
Yeah,
reference things
look at
and
the
then like
camera.
look at the camera, that's all that you really need to do. Is that all you need? Great. And I hated all of the, even if we take out like the editing, the comedy itself is just the most cringe, unfunny bullshit ever. Like there was that scene where Channing Tatum just like randomly shows up and
Oh
he's
my
like,
God.
is
And he makes
this
the awful
is
gay
this the
joke.
sex thing?
This
It's
is a
like
social
he
sex thing.
he says that joke twice, and it wasn't funny any of those
He
times.
says it 3
and I-
times.
Yeah, he
says
says
it
it.
3
Oh
times.
yeah, he says it 3 times, and he goes like, "I love an
When,
accent,
Tangerine
man." I'm
walks
like,
past. Yeah, and he's like, yeah. He says like,
Like-
he has such a good walk.
is this what counts as comedy? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know. I guess I was supposed to find this movie, but I didn't laugh at anything. Like, I didn't find a
know-
the only thing I laughed at was Joey King's horrible performance. I was laughing at that. Like, seeing
She's
her
so
act.
badass. She's like female Joker.
Yeah, he was like, please, sir, I'm held by this man captive. It's like every time she fake acted and fake cried, I was laughing my ass off. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, those are the
I
only
was
lines that
having-
legitimately made me laugh when like what's his name? Lemon was like was talking about like white girl tears.
Yeah, that was funny, but like, I wish there were more jokes like that. Like some of
Yeah.
the things that like Tangerine said, like I thought was kind of funny. Like when he
I
meets
think they're
that,
the
like,
best
you
parts
know,
of of this movie.
yeah, 100%. Like if this movie was about them and you cut out all this other bullshit, like you could have had a good movie. Like because and I think Aaron
I don't
Taylor
remember
Johnson.
anyone's name, so I don't know who you're talking
Oh
about.
well, we're talking about the characters played by Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian
two
Tyree
British guys.
Henry. The twins.
the
where-
twins? Okay.
Yeah, we're like Aaron
No,
Taylor
I don't
Johnson.
even like them. I didn't even like them. They were fucking lame.
Really?
Yeah, but like,
Ah.
yeah, they were. I felt like they were the best parts. I mean, they
they
never
were
were even
cringe
that
and
good
annoying as
anyway.
fuck.
But like, some of the
Yeah.
things that they said were,
They don't
were
have
kind
that
of
much
funny.
depth to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like when Aaron Taylor Johnson goes like, yeah, like I thought this was a Yakuza trap, not a fucking like 80s dance off or some shit like that. Like things like that were like kind of funny, but like this I wish the movie would lean into that humor where it's like this is actually funny.
shoved right inside our assholes.
Yeah, like I guess that's what counts as humor these days. Just British people
Yeah.
like swearing and saying funny things, and that counts
Yeah,
as
it
humor.
felt
Yeah.
like they were
Pretty funny.
trying so hard to be British. It was like that's what their funny thing was, is that they have an accent. Like,
Well, funny enough,
okay.
Brian Tyree Henry actually isn't British. He's American because he's in
Yeah,
Atlanta and all that
exactly.
shit. So that makes it even
Yeah.
more
He's
a
cringe.
Joker.
Yeah, and try
Yeah.
hard. Yeah. Yeah, and Joey King, can I just say, her death ends the exact same way that the way she died in Wish Upon, and I lost my absolute shit when she got run over by the car, because that's exactly how she died in Wish Upon. Spoiler, I'm gonna recommend this at some point. Sorry, not sorry, but it's
I
like,
haven't seen it. I haven't seen
and
it.
I was clearly
Same.
making my theater uncomfortable because I was laughing at the parts that I wasn't supposed to laugh at. Like anytime Joey
You're
King,
laughing at the parts where like
I was laughing at all the Joey
18-year-old
King
gets
parts.
run over by a car.
Yeah, and everyone was just like looking at me, going like, is there like a psychopath like in our theater? Is he gonna like shoot up the theater or whatever?" I was just having a
Is
ton
this
of
like
fun.
an incel who's like happy that a woman is dying or something?
I was like, no, I was just in my own little world, just like Joey
Yeah.
King, the king, is at it again.
God
Yeah,
bless
I feel
Joey
like
King.
even the action wasn't even that great. Like, and this is directed by someone who's shown he's competent, like at action scenes, because not only is he a former stuntman, but like if you look at some of his previous movies, like Atomic Blonde has that like 10-minute like one-shotter like in the staircase with like the action scene with like Charlize Theron, and like even Deadpool 2 had like better action scenes than this. The action in this
Yeah.
movie fucking
They got
sucked.
really good
Like I hated the
choreography.
action. Yeah, it was good. It was good choreography, but like the way it was shot and like the cinematography of those action scenes in general,
Yeah.
like they were awful. Like the scene where
It
Aaron
tries to
Taylor
have
Johnson,
those-
yeah, like the
tries
scene
to
where
have
Aaron
those,
Taylor
like,
Johnson and Brad Pitt, like they're fighting in like the snack compartment, like the way that fight scene was shot, that was fucking awful. Like I hated like the close-ups and like the quick cut, like I hated all of that. I was like, this is terrible. So
Yeah. You're trying to go for like the John Wick style of action, but you're ending up more like Taken 3.
yeah, that's what it ended up as. Yeah. And especially like the last like 20 to 30 minutes when fucking like trains are like colliding and like fucking moving around, and then like Michael Shannon and this other guy like are doing some like samurai battle bullshit, and then like I Need a Hero is playing at the end. It's like, dude, like come on. Like like I don't feel anything when, one, I don't give a shit about the characters, and two, like the action scenes
Yeah.
just kind of become like Deadpool 2 style, like, look, it's crazy, lol, CG, like I don't feel anything, and by the time this movie ended, I was just so
And Ryan Reynolds
exhausted.
does
It's
so
like,
up.
yeah, I
I was
kind of
just
wanted
waiting.
to leave
I
at
just
that
knew
point.
that was gonna happen. I just knew it. I was like waiting.
I
for it to
hated
happen.
that. I hated that
It
so
just like
much.
checks
It
all
was-
the boxes.
Yeah, it was, and I barely remember what else happened in the movie. Like unfunny things, shitty editing, and then like bad action scenes. Like what else happened in the movie? Fucking
Yeah,
nothing.
Kamiko
I guess.
from The
Yeah.
Boys was in it, and they did nothing with her. She was in
Yeah,
it for
she
two
said
scenes. She was basically an
it's
extra.
It's funny because she only speaks Japanese, and she says Japanese things, and then gets slapped by
I don't think I've
Domino
ever
from
heard her
Deadpool
actually
2.
speak.
I thought she said a couple things, not in English. She wasn't like a main character.
You know, I've never heard her
She
speak in
wasn't
English though. She
Oh,
doesn't speak
oh,
in like Suicide Squad. She doesn't speak in The Boys. And she only speaks Japanese in this.
Well, she's actually a talented voice actor because she's in Kipo and the Wonder Beast, and she's
nice.
she plays a couple characters in Craig of the Creek. So like she's a talented voice actor, and so it sucks that she didn't fucking say anything in this
Yeah.
movie. So, Luca, what else do you want to say about this movie? I'm interested in hearing you tear this shit apart because I know you hated it just as much as I did. So.
I just like it was like painfully unfunny. It was awful, but like I barely remember anything about it. Like it's just so forgettable. Like one of the most like the jokes were annoying enough as they were, but the one like sequence, like jokey sequence there's one that I kind of liked, and there was one that I really hated. The one that I kind of liked was when they had like this whole fucking backstory for like the Mexican dude or like Colombian dude. I can't remember. Like there's this
Bad
whole
Bunny,
fucking
yeah.
There's this whole ass backstory just for like this dude, and then he just died instantly after that. That was funny.
Yeah, that was
I
funny.
like I like that. Like that's like a well constructed joke, like subverting expectations and stuff like that, because obviously there was backstories before for the other characters, but they didn't die instantly. I think it was funny that this guy just died fucking instantly. That was a fun joke.
They gave him more backstory than Brad Pitt's character.
Yeah. I think if it was still goofy but just wasn't unfunny, it would be better. Like, how do you even make a movie like this seriously? Like, you can't. Like, they should have kept it goofy but just not made it shit.
Yeah. There's a way to do this.
Oh wait, that's how you make a movie like this more serious. You make Snowpiercer. You know what was very funny?
Yeah, and he's an Asian director as well. It would work.
I had a weird double feature because I watched this, a train movie, and then I watched Compartment Number 6, like another train movie, like right afterwards. But I loved that one, so at least I watched. At least, oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just there's so many.
But the one joke I really didn't like was the okay, no, there's two actually. The scene where they were like trying to keep quiet and like do this action scene. Like, I just found that so annoying because they just weren't being quiet at all. Like, they were making so much noise, and then there was like that stupid granny that was like, shh. But it's like this scene could have been really funny. Yeah, like
You are
this
fucking
scene could have been
excused.
the scene could have been really funny if they like were actually like fighting and like keeping completely silent, like where the slightest touch of noise like could be used as like a sense to like fuel the comedy, or yeah, exactly. But like they were making so much noise, so I struggled to find humor in the joke,
like hitting each other with laptops.
like yeah, like literally they were making such a fucking like ruckus, and like
brawling it out.
it just made the joke unfunny. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
forgotten
remember.
about it.
I actually remembered like more about the trailer that I saw for Nope before the film started than I did the actual film I was there to see.
Nothing. We should probably move on. Like, don't want to waste too much time. And I have one more thing to say. And I will say that
you go first, Luca.
The fucking snake in the movie is not a boom
Oh,
slung.
looked
They said it
terrible.
was a boom slung. Fucking awful pieces of shit. It was not. I know what boom slungs look like. Sorry for being a nerd, but yeah, they fucked up, and that's not what
South
a boom
Africa have
slung
boom
looks
slang.
like. Yeah, me too.
I mean,
yeah.
look at the boom slang looked like shit as well.
Yeah, but like it wasn't the proper snake.
It's a poisonous.
It's a snake.
It's a snake.
It's a South African snake. And the translation literally means tree snake, boomslang. And like there's snakes that kind of have like this weird like curved kind of jaw and like big black eyes, and they're very tiny. And the snake in the movie was just a brown fucking generic snake. Like, yeah. So you done wronged, movie. 3 out of 10. Yeah. I do like the kind of historical approach this movie took, and like the setting. Like, I feel like the setting was really unique for a movie like this, like kind of Native America and stuff like that. I think there was a few problems with it. Like, I think some of the actors were like directed a bit like too modernly, like it was a bit too modernized. Like some of the tribesmen like acted like typical like bro dudes like that you would see today. Like I don't think people would have acted like that back then. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they would have been like they kind of had like the sense of swagger in their acting, like a typical bully that you would see today, which is like I don't think people had like mannerisms like that back then, but
Yeah,
whatever.
but even if that wasn't the case,
Um,
like I didn't really. That was probably one of my biggest issues with the movie was the writing, because like there isn't a lot of dialogue
yeah.
in the film, but whenever anyone just opens their mouth, it was just really cringe. Like I really hated like that scene and like the when they were hunting the mountain lion. And that one asshole was like,
Yeah.
lol, you're a girl, and girls are pussies, and you should go away because you're a girl, and blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, like, I get it, okay? Like, you don't need to
Yeah.
repeat this bullshit over and over again. And then, like, yeah, and then like when like those like Native American like Comanche guys like find Amber Midthunder's character, and then they like start beating the shit out of her and saying like "Go home, you're a girl."
Yeah.
Yeah,
One of the
wow, you know, like come on, like
one
the
of the
writing was
cringiest
cringe.
lines. Yeah, one of the cringiest lines like in the beginning, because I originally started watching it in English, and then it got up to the line where it was, "Yo, your dog found shit," and then I was like, "Okay, I need to switch to this
No, I
fucking
did the
dub
same
right
thing.
now
I watched the
because
first 10 minutes
because
of the English version, and I
yeah,
cringed, and I switched to the Comanche version.
yeah,
Best decision I
like
made all week.
yeah, like the Comanche version, it's a lot better. It feels a lot more authentic and like stuff like that. The English one just felt weird, like from what I saw
It
of
didn't
the
even
English
feel like appropriate
version.
for the timeline. Yeah, they felt like
Yeah,
fucking Gen Zers going like, "Yo, bro!" Like at
yeah,
a certain point in the English version, I
yeah,
thought one of them was gonna go, "Yo, check out my TikTok!" Like, let me pull out my phone. It's like, fuck off. Like, and to be
yeah.
fair, like
But
the
I'm glad that they provided that
You
dub.
know what would have been great though if I could actually like if the movie actually just started out like with like the Comanche language. And that was the plan anyway, you know, like they originally wanted to shoot this entire film where everyone was speaking Comanche. Like I don't know why they didn't do that for like the French fur trappers, because even in the English dub like they still spoke French. It's like when like I saw
Yeah,
this
I
clip
don't
of this
know.
where it's like the one French fur trapper who like could speak Comanche, like he's speaking French, but then when he talks to Amber Midthunder's character, he's like, "Yo, bro, I can speak Comanche, but he's speaking English." I'm like, "What the fuck? Like this doesn't make any sense,"
Yeah,
you know? So
yeah. It wasn't nice. Oh, cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Well, but they are speaking like actual French in the English one. Yeah. But yeah, it was cool. We probably can't hold on to this one for too long because we got
things
other
to
stuff to
talk
talk
about.
about.
Yeah.
But
There
yeah,
were.
it
I wish.
was
I will say that
it
I
was a
did
good
have
little
one
movie.
other issue I had with the movie. I
Oh,
wish.
me too,
Yeah,
me
I
too.
wish the characters were just more developed in the set. Because like, here's the thing. I think Naru. I think Amber Midthunder's character is the first time in a Predator film where I can say I actually gave a shit about a main character in this series. Because like Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in the original, like he's like charming, he's charismatic, like you give a shit because he's in this like horrific situation, but like he doesn't have like a backstory or a personality where it's like I like resonate with
Yeah.
this character. And this is like wow, like I actually give a shit about like a main character in a Predator movie, and I just wish like the other side characters were like equally well developed. Yeah, because like they put some emphasis on the brother character, but they don't develop him like a lot. They don't like give him a lot to do other than bro, I'm a hunter and like I do shit. And like he does have that cool fight scene with the predator like halfway through the movie where like he kind of like sacrifices himself and then like kind of like use bows and arrows and shit like that against like the like it was all cool. I just wish I gave a shit, you know? Like I wish I cared about like the brother character because he wasn't properly developed in my opinion. Not a lot of characters. Yeah, it's not like in the original Predator, which I mean, not a lot of those characters were properly developed either. But like it was a little more forgiving in the original Predator because like they were supposed to be this like perfect example of like the macho man testosterone fueled like action heroes, but then it kind of subverts that by like having them get picked off one by one and all of them being like scared shitless and stuff like that. They're like there's nothing like that in this movie, so like I'm like you're just kind of like a blandly written character. And there's no like subversive take to like protect you from that one, you know? So that was like my only issue. Like there's the writing in general, I think is the biggest issue. Like if the writing was much better, I think this could have been a great movie, but you know, whatever. So yeah, but I don't know. I personally would have preferred to have more. Yeah. So anyway, we can get into ratings now unless anyone has anything.
Wait, no,
like
I've just got one
Sure,
thing that kind
yeah.
of annoyed me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the dog. Like the dog felt like
Jesus,
it
what did the
didn't
dog
need
do to
be
you?
there. Yeah, like I guess it kind of had a kind of a purpose. Like it was like a tracker dog. It was like her little companion, and I wouldn't have minded that. But like how they show the dog is so inconsistent. Like sometimes it's there on screen, like barking at the predator, then it magically teleports away, and then it magically teleports to her again, and then it's gone for like a whole hour, and then it comes back. Even though we didn't see it in the same scene previously, it was just weird how they decided to like put the dog into the story. It was there when it wanted to be there,
Yeah.
and that was just annoying. That was
I
like
did think it was kind
the
of
one
weird
bit
because like
annoying
the
thing
the
about
dog
it.
runs away after the bear like attacks Amber Midthunder's character and then just magically shows up again when the French fur trappers show up, which by the way,
Yeah.
I understand that like they're assholes. I understand that they're trying to like um they have this weird thing where it's like they've seen the predator and they know what it looks like and they know it's like a threat out there. I wish they could have done more with that from that angle where it's like this is clearly a group that's been traumatized by like the predator's presence. You know, it's clearly traumatized by like, you know, like the horrific shit that the predator has done. Like do something with that. Like maybe like have it be like I don't know, like have it be like the original Predator where like it becomes a horror film by the third act, but it just becomes this like blood fueled testosterone action film where like the predator just like throws all its shit at the French fur trappers. It's like I would have liked to seen like a little more creativity on that angle. I mean, it was still like satisfying. It was still fun to see. Like yeah, like Jules, I mentioned in your review, like I liked it when all the French people died. I was like, yeah, fuck the French, like fuck those French pussies. Yeah, but yeah, I would have I don't know. I would have liked a little more creativity, but I thought the final fight in general was pretty satisfying. Like there was remnants of like Predator 1 where like Schwarzenegger like went off against the original Predator, and even some elements of Predator 2 I thought were in this final fight. And yeah, it was really satisfying. And it was like, and in my opinion, it was definitely earned because like I feel like a lot of the people who are complaining about this movie is like, yo, this is so woke. Like my women like beat a predator. Yeah, geeks and gamers and shit like that. It's like, well, if you actually watch the fucking movie and pay attention, like the reason why she's able to kill this thing is because like she learns like what its weaknesses are. She's observant. She like watches how like this thing hunts and stuff like that. It's like it's things that you don't need to have spilled out. You can just watch the movie and figure this shit out yourself. Like don't be a fucking idiot, man. Like Jesus. So, you know, anyway, we can get into ratings now unless anyone else has anything dying to say. Anyway, I'm giving Prey a 6 out of 10. Good movie.
Yeah, I give it a 6-2 probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 6.
Cool. Speaking of woke, we have the movie recommendation from Luca.
Okay, so just to remind everyone, we have a little theme going for our first recommendations, which is to pick a movie from the country where you live. And I live in South Africa, and I picked a movie called Moffie. Which is the title is essentially just the F word slur, but in Afrikaans in South African, it's just like a slur for gay people, and pretty much the movie's set during like apartheid in South Africa and during the wartime where pretty much boys are conscripted to go to war and have to fight off. And it's about a gay dude who gets conscripted and has to just survive in this really harsh military camp, pretty much. And I think it's great. It's very brutal. It definitely doesn't shy away at what it decides to show, and I think it tells a pretty great reflection of that time frame. Like, I've learnt about this time all my life. I've learnt about it in schools, and like, being like a queer movie set in South Africa, where I'm from, the fact that I've been to some of the locations in this film makes it really personal to me. And yeah, I think it's a pretty great movie. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I really loved it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I there was a lot of technical stuff about the film that I really loved. For example, like I really loved the
Same.
cinematography of the film. Like it was very
I love it too.
Yeah, it was very excellent in the sense that like it was trying to go for this like minimalist thing because it's shot in 4:3. But I loved how like the film just like kept whenever a scene needed to be like dragged out as long as possible, it very rarely cut. It like kept things going as for as long as it possible and just drag things out. And I think it really does, by shooting it that way, I think it does a really great job of like kind of like creating this like sense of tension and like, you know, an uncomfortableness that like not just like the situation creates but like what the main character goes through, because he's kind of like a shy kid and he's only just realizing in this really dangerous and toxic situation that he realizes that he's gay. And I think that like to me that really creates like an interesting conflict where it's like this guy who doesn't really know his own sexuality, when like he kind of discovers, wow, I think I like men. But it's like literally the worst possible time to come to this realization, because they not only beat the shit out of people who come out as gay, but like they throw them, like they said, in the loony bin or whatever. Like they do like
it is really fucked up what they did to queer people, drug addicts, fucking people with mental disabilities, just anything. Like they just didn't see you as a person and they try to fix you essentially, and it's really screwed up. It's really
awful.
fucked.
Because I looked into this a little more. Yeah, I also did a little research, and I was like, it's to see that like the conditions of the conflict was not as exaggerated as I thought, because like I thought like surely this must be like a little exaggerated, like there's no way like they would be treated this harshly, but nope, like this is how they're treated. And I'm like, Jesus fucking
it is
Christ,
such an accurate portrayal. I remember, Timmy, you said like you wish it would be a bit subtle and like the few messages you sent about it, but I personally I don't think there's any way to convey this like just brutality like in a subtle way. Like I think the fact that they hammered it home, like just absolutely like talked about all the negative aspects. I think, this is a very South African film. And I think the fact that I know like a lot about this background and this history like really aids like the experience for me, but it is just super fucked up how they treated like people like this. Like I personally relate to some of the situations, definitely not as intensely, but like Sergeant Brand, fucking amazing performance. I've literally had PE coaches like that. Like,
really?
Yo, you're being a piece of shit, fucking drop to the floor, give me 20. Oh, you're being a piece of shit. My PE teachers have literally been like, Luca, you're talking in line. Go to the other side of the field and bring me a leaf. That is something that has happened.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
That is a real thing that people do. It's like,
I don't know. All my PE teachers were like old, overweight, like retirees. So like, I guess I never like experienced things like this.
In South Africa, it's like, same. It's like all this shit, like, and there's definitely some of these like awful norms for this time frame in the movie that still continue in South Africa today, which is just really horrible, but it's true.
Can I ask about
sure.
So there two languages are being spoken in this film, English and Afrikaans. And they they interchange them, because like the main character doesn't seem like he can speak Afrikaan, he can only speak English.
No.
But he can still understand Afrikaan, and like the other soldiers who only speak Afrikaan can understand. Can you explain that a little bit? Because I guess I was a bit confused.
Afrikaans.
Oh, sorry. What have I been saying?
So basically,
Sorry, what have I been saying? I thought I would have been saying it correctly.
You said African, but it's
Afrikaans.
Afrikaans.
Sorry,
There
my
we
dumb
go.
American accent got in the way there.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but yeah, so basically, like, South Africa is a very bilingual, no, well, like fucking 12 lingual kind of country. Like, there's 12 official languages here.
Okay.
But the main ones are Afrikaans, English, Xhosa, and Zulu. Yeah, so the reason everyone was mostly speaking Afrikaans is because people during the time are Dutch. They're like Dutch descendants, so apartheid kind of like split up everyone. So like in schools you still get taught Afrikaans here. So if you're white and you're English speaking like me and like have an English background, you'll be taught Afrikaans. So it's most likely you understand a bit of Afrikaans. I understand a bit of Afrikaans, even though I barely know how to speak it.
So it's like French in Canada, like you're like all the English speakers
kind
like
of.
learn how to
Yeah,
speak
it's
French.
essentially that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like yeah, so it makes sense that they were all speaking Afrikaans in the movie because they were all Afrikaans essentially, most of the people. And yeah. My naam is Luca. Ek kan praat nie Afrikaans nie.
Yeah, that was great.
Ek
I
is
mean,
baie kak.
That's more Afrikaans than either of us can say. So.
That's true. But I don't know if you guys noticed, but a lot of like Afrikaans words, like they're kind of just very meme versions of like English words. Like shit is like kak, and like fuck is like fuck.
Yeah,
and, like,
instead of fuck they said
shit
fucking.
like that. Yeah, it's really funny.
I remember when
when
they did the sit-ups and like the push-ups and like they
counted
down. I was like, you guys are just saying the fucking English number numerical system. Jesus.
Yeah.
I think you know, there was a lot I really appreciated from a technical level, and I think the music was also really awesome too. Like I was a bit annoyed because they blasted the fuck out of the music like during the train scenes like at the beginning.
Yeah,
I
think in the train scene it's a bit overbearing, but I think they used the music really well in the other sequences.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really well done because it's like it kind of reminded me of the Princess Diana movie Spencer, where it's like they use the music for an appropriate amount of time. Oh yeah, I won't spoil it, don't worry. But like they use the music for like an appropriate amount of time, and it just really helps like just capture the tone and atmosphere of the film. I thought like the way they handled the music and how it incorporated into the film is like really, really awesome.
Yeah.
And if you add that with the nice cinematography, because I think my favorite scene in the entire film was when is in that flashback scene where the main character is like a young kid and he's caught looking at like a guy's penis, and then like it's just this awesome one take.
I didn't notice it was
one. Yeah,
like,
it just
the
like
when
they throw him in the guy in the office. Yeah, that was awesome. I fucking loved that shit, and it just keeps going and going because they open the door and then they bring him out. Yeah, that was also my favorite scene. I loved that shit. Yeah,
I think my favorite scene is the kind of like the montage where he's like swimming in the lake, intercut between like all of them like partying in the dorms and that scene where they're running across the rooms and shit like that. I really loved how it was edited. I think the editing in this movie is pretty great. Like how they cut between like him leaving, and then there's like that whole big pool scene which you guys said, and then it cuts back and then it's like him running back to like it's like that little pool scene was like his weekend holiday, like except it was used as a flashback as well. To say more about the character.
Yeah, that was excellent.
The Wilhelm
like
scream
integrated
in that pool scene is annoying.
I was annoyed by that. I was like really?
That.
Come on. I mean,
It's
I don't
really
like Wilhelm
distracting.
screams in general, but like that scene in general when they played the Wilhelm scream, I'm like, come on, really? Like you couldn't film like
so
an actual
awful. But it doesn't take away from my like rating of the film.
Yeah.
But it didn't need to be there at all.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see the influences of this film because I could see elements of stuff like Moonlight and Full Metal Jacket and like Come and See and stuff like that. Like, I don't think this movie is like as well made as either of those movies, but I could see like a lot of similar elements, not just in terms of style, but in
Yeah.
like in theme
I
as
mean, you
well.
also have to
Yeah.
like take into account that this movie maybe not made as well as those movies. It probably had a micro budget compared to those movies.
That's
So,
fair. That's fair.
um,
Yeah.
yeah,
There was a lot I don't know. It's just like at some point some of the influences were like way too obvious for me because like there was that scene where they're at the border and they're like trying to take out like the Angolan like rebels or something like that. And there was that scene
yeah.
where the main character accidentally shoots a child or something, or maybe it wasn't on accident. I don't
It
remember like the
wasn't.
context.
Yeah,
Yeah, and like he kind of looks down on him, and like he's watching the kid like struggle to breathe and stuff like that. That was like a little too Full Metal Jacket for me. I was like,
I don't think it
that
was a
just Full Metal
child. I think
Jacket.
it was just a soldier. Or
Oh,
it was one of the two people. Yeah.
oh, I mean,
So
but
the
still, it still felt a little too Full Metal Jacket to me. I was like, I know what
all
you're
right.
doing. It's kind of like this is too overtly like, yeah, it's in my face type of thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I love Kubrick and I love Full Metal Jacket, and that was just kind of a little too obvious for me. But like, yeah, my Kubrick, my daddy Kubrick, don't mess with that shit. So they're like they're Eggo waffles. Lego my Eggos, Lego my Kubrick. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess in terms of flaws,
I do.
did have an
Even though I
yeah,
love this
yeah.
movie, I will say that I don't think it's like perfect. I do think there is flaws.
Yeah, I
Personally,
think
for me,
there's yeah,
yeah.
because I wish, and this is sort of the same problem I had with Prey, although like this one did a little better, where it's like the main character is well realized. I think his struggles and his goals and his motivations are very clear. I just wish the rest of the battalion is like properly as developed because there are scenes
Yeah.
where the movie expects me to give a shit about like his friend who like shares like the cigarettes and like the drink with, and then like when they go to like the 80s disco party and shit like that, it's like there are scenes that are clearly expecting me to care about these other characters that he's friends with, but like they didn't properly develop any of these characters, so I'm just kind of sitting here going like I don't really get anything out of this because like you didn't really properly develop any of the characters. I don't know anything about them, and that was especially the case with the scene where like the guy he shares like the bed with, which in of itself is really powerful, but I just wish there was more build up to it, like because again this is a character that I have no idea who this guy is. The only thing I know about him is that he's gay and that he's in the army. Like I
Yeah.
need more to give a shit about because like because like yes, individually that scene is powerful, and the scene where they have to punch each other like is also very powerful, but again like I need context behind those scenes. I need to know more about the characters. I need to know like yeah, I need to give
Yeah.
a shit, but I just really didn't, if I'm being honest. Yeah, so
I do agree that I wish there was a little bit more character to the characters because but like that's how people are in this country. Like I've been to an all boys school at my time, and people are like this.
yeah, boys will be boys. Yeah,
Yeah.
so which
I
the movie
I will
really likes to
say-
hit home about. Yeah, yeah, the
I
boys
will
will be
say-
boys thing. Yeah.
the two main actors unfortunately don't give the best performances. Like
Who's the other main actor you're talking
Sax,
about?
which is like the
Oh, okay, yeah.
the friend, and then the main dude, Nick.
Van der
I
Swat.
unfortunately I just think their performances are a bit hold back. Like they I think at points they're really good, but like that first sequence in the train, like I know it's supposed to be awkward and stuff, but like they just feel very bland, and like Sax throughout the whole movie, just like his performance feels a bit bland, and like I struggle to connect to him because there's like this moment where he's like holding up the gun and he's like clearly going like pointing the gun at like the children, and they're like, Sax, put your fucking gun down, dude, what are you doing? And like he's clearly going through like this like
He's
like
paranoid. Yeah, he's
paranoia
scared, yeah.
of like being in this war situation, and they don't really wrap him up fully, like, and I think they do wrap up Nick in a nice little spot where, like, obviously his wannabe boyfriend has been like,
Yeah, I
has
really liked
been
that too.
fucked
Yeah.
up. But I just think I wanted a bit more from Nick's performance because as like I just felt like he could have given it a bit more, and he felt a bit bland and reserved throughout the movie. But that's like my main flaw.
Yeah, I thought he actually was pretty good for what he was given and what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like I do agree that like yeah,
The ending scene's great,
ending
but
scene
I
was
think
great, yeah.
throughout the other
He
things, like just the way he delivers his dialogue. Maybe it's because I know people from South Africa and stuff, but I just feel like I feel like it
I don't
just
know,
felt a bit awkward. But I still love the movie. And Sergeant
know.
Brand, that performance was fucking phenomenal.
Oh, that was great.
Like,
yeah. He was a
holy
piece
shit.
of shit, and
Yeah.
he pulled it off very, very well.
Yeah, damn.
But in terms of the main, what do you guys take away from that scene? What do you guys take away from that scene? Because I kind of looked at that as like sort of like a sign of mutual respect type of thing.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I don't know. The guy's kind of hard to read, so But anyway, what you were saying, Luca, about like the main character being a little, if we were just talking about his friend, then yeah, absolutely. I honestly thought he was kind of bad too. But I thought in terms of what the main character was going for, I was a little more understanding. I was fine with
same.
what he was going for. Yeah, so
I think it was fine, but like I think it could have been a bit more. Like it felt like he only really showed like one range of emotion throughout the film. You know.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. Yeah. But I still like the performance a lot. I think the end, like, he really does a good job. And yeah, I don't know. I love this movie, obviously, because it's here from my country, and it's probably the best thing that we've made that I've seen. A stupid decision from my country was not submitting this for the Oscars in 2019. Like, obviously, it wouldn't have won against Parasite, obviously, but at least it could have got a bit of recognition with a nomination, because out of all the things that are there, I think it definitely could have got a nomination if they submitted it. But they submitted like some really fucking shit movie that I've seen, and it's awful, and I don't know why they didn't submit this movie.
Was it Demonic, directed by Neil Blomkamp?
No, it wasn't Demonic. Yeah. But I don't know, does anyone have anything else to say?
There was one other thing. Yeah, there was one other thing that I wanted to mention. I really liked just sort of like the training sequences in terms of how they're shot, because there was a lot of close-up shots. There were a lot of like shaky cam, and like normally I would hate that shit, but I think in terms of what they were going for, like, because like whenever the characters were jogging and like running and like carrying it, it was shaking up and down, and it was like it was like a lot of close-up shots, and I was like, wow, like this is really, someone clearly gave a shit and like knew what they were doing when they were making this film, because it was like it was, I can't stress enough how much I loved the cinematography in this film, because it was really, really awesome, and like the way that color is and the way that color is integrated too, just in general, because it's a lot of like gray and like grayish colors and stuff like that, but like just the way it's integrated, especially when the soldiers are being surrounded by these grayish skies and like brown and blue colors and stuff like that. It was really great from that angle. Yeah,
it really captures the country really nicely.
Oh, that was awesome. I loved that shot. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they really capture the country as like beauty very well.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how accurate is this film to South African standards?
10 easily.
Okay,
fucking this is like the most South African movie I've seen. Like even though it's portraying a really shitty part about it, it is entirely fucking accurate. The director,
I didn't realize the racism against the black majority in South Africa was as bad, because like when the guy was
fucking awful.
When the guy was throwing garbage at that one black guy like on the train station, I was like, that seems a little too cartoonishly over the top. But then I did research, and apparently like shit like that was just the norm, and I was like, Jesus, I didn't know South Africa had their version of the American South. Like Jesus,
and like he was like sitting on his own bench, because like in South Africa during the time, like black people and people of color, like there was apartheid, there was split. You weren't allowed to use the same bathroom as a white person. There was public facilities for two kinds of races. It was white people and then everyone else. And And it was like, that's why when they go to the beach at the end, it's like, no black people on this beach. There's a sign pointing towards the beach that black people are allowed to go to. There's like the production design's pretty good, like even if it's little things like that, but it's little things like that like make the movie accurate to the time.
I wish they commented on that a little bit more, though, if I'm being perfectly honest, because like
I think it was more about the main character, and I think they did a good job.
Yeah, but
like,
I just thought
suggesting the time frame they were in. But, yeah.
I don't know. I understand that was meant to like establish the time frame and like what kind of society, because like the film has a lot to say about like toxic masculinity and stuff like that. The whole like if you don't like, you know, hate communists and you don't like do this and blah 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 blah, you're not a real man or whatever. And it's like and even in like the locker room scenes where it's like generic bullshit like locker room talk and like boys will be boys, you know, and like things like that when like they're cheering each other to like beat the shit out of each other. It's just like it's clear it's a very like poignant and very clever commentary.
Yeah,
on
definitely.
Sorry, Jesus, on toxic masculinity and all this stuff, and I think that's a great comparison with the main character who's kind of shy and reserved. He doesn't really like believe in most of this bullshit. There was this really really great line, where the sergeant they were in, there was this great line, where the soldiers were lined up and they ask like Sax like, why are you here, like why are you fighting this country, and he's like, to protect the women and children.
He like
what else?
He almost didn't want to like give like the real answer, because throughout the movie like Sax is like, this is fucking bullshit, like
and then he punishes him for like essentially having his own independent thoughts, because they go on that like 20-mile like hike run or whatever. It's like and it's like, and he was clearly pissed off when he said like to defend our people, and he's like, no, give me the real answer, and he was like, to defeat the communists, and he was like, that's right, like fix your attitude there, like Jesus. Like I think that was like it was like a minor scene, but it was like really poignant. I thought that was really effective. I thought that was awesome. No,
that commander was really like such a good actor. Like when he was like, yo, you know who said you can vomit on my fucking tarmac,
and
like,
then he like eats the vomit, like Jesus.
Like,
and I thought like Arlie Ermey from Full Metal Jacket was like
honest.
fucking cruel, but like then you have this shit, and I'm like, Jesus, I take Arlie Ermey in a heartbeat any day.
It's like, it's really tough shit that like people had to go through.
So, do you guys have anything else to say about this? I'm pretty much done talking about it, so.
Let me read my notes.
Sure.
I guess
I'm not
if
from
your
South
slice
Africa.
of life is being oppressed and like in the army and like.
Well, to be fair, that's like the slice of life for like, you know, a gay person in the 80s, you know.
I don't
like,
think a slice of.
I would say it's more of a coming of age story than anything, you know, because it's like, I don't think it fits into one specific genre, but if I had to, I think coming of age is like the best way to describe it, because it's like, you can't really call this a war film when like barely any war things happen in the movie, but like at the same time, it's not really going for that anyway. It's more come and see than Full Metal Jacket, I think, in that.
I really like that battle scene though. It felt tense,
that was great. It was really tense. And the lack of music in that scene, oh my god! Like this movie knows how when not to.
It knows
use
it's
music,
making a good movie.
Unlike Bullet Train, where it just fucking spams a song fucking every 10 minutes and shit. So, So anyway, I'm pretty much done saying. We can get into ratings now. Yeah.
Okay. Should I? Yeah. I'll.
Yeah, you can go first.
I don't think it's perfect, but it really personally resonates with me. I'd give it an 8 out of 10, but it's kind of lingering that fine line of maybe being a 9. But I think it's a firm 8. It's really fucking fantastic, and I love it a lot. What would you guys give it? All right. Yeah.
And I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. Yeah, it's a great film. I think my rating will stay on a 7. I like I said, there's a lot that's holding this movie back that prevents me from like giving it an 8 or higher, but I think a 7 is an appropriate score. So
the fact that you're not South African holds back a few thoughts about it as well.
Yeah,
I think.
I'm a dumb, stupid American. I don't know any better. Yeah,
Like,
so.
it's like there's a weird part about this movie. It's like being from the place and like actually like there's weird parts about this movie that like I think you will literally only understand like and personally gain something from if you're South African.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, like when we talked about RRR, we saw all those comments. It's like clearly like
exactly.
we love the movie, but like we're not from India, and I think like people who are actually from India like can like give more of like what they connected with. Yeah.
I'm glad you guys liked it, honestly. Like
yeah, I'm really glad I finally came across, because you recommended this to me like a while ago, and it's been on my watch list for a while. I'm glad I finally saw it. Yeah. So yeah, I would have
glad
been...
I'm exposing more people to it, because like if you're watching this episode, I hope you've either prepared yourself to watch this movie and hear the discussion, or if you just went through this, watch it, because I think like not even 5,000 people have watched it on Letterboxd, so definitely check it out.
Yeah,
where did you guys watch it? I think it's
very
on
few...
Amazon.
Yeah, very low amount of reviews like on this movie. I was kind of surprised by that. Yeah, so it was surprisingly on Hulu. I found it on Hulu, and I was like, oh, it's on Hulu. I guess I'll just watch it there.
Hulu, Amazon, and it's on South African Showmax as well. If anyone is a South African viewer. But yes, questions, because
question time.
Please leave questions in the comments. I couldn't find any. I had to wrangle questions from other places. So
we want to hear your questions.
We want your questions.
Send your questions.
We don't want to answer our lame questions. We want your questions. But these questions are pretty fun.
And if you don't want to leave them as comments, follow us on the socials and just just tweet at us questions there. Like, fucking dude, I'm lonely as shit. Like, just DM me and send me private messages about questions. That's good enough for me. So yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. What questions do we got?
Okay. First question comes from me. I thought it was pretty fitting.
Oh god.
I didn't know that you hadn't seen all the Predator movies, Jules. So I guess just for me and Timmy, but Jules, you can. Predator movies ranked. Which ones do you think's the best? Which one do you think's the worst? And in between.
I can do this easily from best to worst.
Okay, cool. Yeah, best to worst. Go.
Predator 1, Prey 2, Predator Shane Black.
Okay, cool. I guess Jules, which one's your favorite out of the two that you've seen? Or the three that you've seen. Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't actually know. I was recording like bits of my video about the Predator movies, and I said that I didn't like Prey more. But like the more that I think about it, I think I might. So it's like Prey and Predator like up there. There's moments from Predator I like more. There's moments from Prey that I like more. I think I would go Predator best, then Prey, then Predators. Surprisingly,
really, Jesus.
Then Predator 2, and then Shane Black, because the Shane Black one is just fucking awful.
It was such an incredibly awful piece of shit. Like I couldn't like process it like correctly. I was like, how did the guy who made The Nice Guys, and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang make this bullshit, where it's like fucking predator dogs and just predator. Yeah, autism is apparently the next step in evolutionary like human development. Like, what the fuck does anything have to do with like Jesus Christ? And then there's a small predator, but then like giant predator kills small predator, and that's cool because Which there were predator dogs in Predators, and they looked nothing like the predator dogs in that one compared to the Shane Black one. They were just as stupid. Yeah, they were just as stupid. But
let's not waste our time with this question. Let's not.
Yeah. Did you guys see like the honor code like bullshit or whatever? Like
no. We're stopping. Fuck Predator. Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. Second question. Comes from my boyfriend Jasper, and he asks, what was the film that made you become a cinephile? So like, what movie did you watch that kind of changed your perception of films and stuff like that?
I mean, it's a cliche, but honestly, Studio Ghibli.
Really?
It's a meme. Yeah, because I think because I had seen all of Miyazaki's films when I was younger. Like My Neighbor Totoro and Kiki's Delivery Service were like movies I would see regularly. But I think it was when I saw his more mature films. Like Spirited Away is one of my favorite movies of all time. But like the first time I saw that, I was genuinely blown away. I was scared. I was traumatized watching Spirited Away because like there were elements about it that terrified me. But I think like that movie definitely cemented. Yeah, like that was terrifying as an 8-year-old watching that. Yeah. But yeah, Spirited Away was like a huge influence for me to like give a shit about movies because like I was so interested in like the things that Spirited Away had that like I took the time to like look up like the behind the scenes, like like the art, like the I don't know if you guys seen this clip, but there was this clip where like the artists are just kind of like so exhausted, they're so tired, and like the only like pleasure they get is like the meals that they cook for each other like every night and stuff like that. Like Miyazaki like makes like this poor man's ramen thing for like his artists and like his animators and stuff like that. It's like the tireless like effort that goes into like these movies and like how and like the dedication. That's like it really made me appreciate like holy shit, like this isn't just like some like corporate thing that someone just sharded out. Like this was like a love letter effort that a bunch of people like teamed up to make and like see it executed to the very end, and I was like really impressed by that. And so yeah, that's I would say like Spirited Away like kind of jump started like my love for film. But yeah, what about you guys?
All right, nice.
Hell yeah.
I haven't seen that, so don't spoil it.
You haven't seen Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Rabbit?
I have when I was younger, but not in like a long
Jules,
time.
you are not. You and I, like one of us needs to recommend that at a certain point. DreamWorks, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I have three kind of. Number one is kind of generic. Like I've known Fantastic Mr. Fox has been special like my whole life. I know it's always had this weird elevation above things, and it's not like in terms of like movies that I watch, like weird spiritual fucking surreal shit. Like Fantastic Mr. Fox isn't anything like that, but it's still.
Yeah, you watched The Holy Mountain when you were 8 or something. Yeah,
it's still a fantastic movie. Yeah, but.
Yeah.
But my real answer is like, so I've always been a fan of movies forever. Like I know I've loved watching movies, forever and ever. Even if I had that stage where I was into Marvel and loved it when I was like fucking 16.
Yeah, everyone has that phase.
So my film phase kind of started a bit late, like a bit later than everyone. Like, I think in 2018, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go. In 2018, I got really into like watching different horror movies. So I watched like Cabin in the Woods, and I really liked that. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch this movie, this remake of this classic movie called Suspiria. And Suspiria really like fucked me up and taught me that, yeah, movies can be different to Marvel movies, and they can be fucking fantastic. And kind of exactly 2018, I kind of started to branch away from that, from like my love for like superhero bullshit, and then I kind of started to branch away and go out of my way to find stuff more like Suspiria, stuff that was artsy and crazy, and yeah, so that was kind of like the movie that really changed it. And I know exactly
what you're saying in terms of like the scare thing, because like that the movie that Suspiria was to you, that was me, but like with Coraline. Like Coraline gave me that exact same like horrific experience. And I had seen a bunch of like slasher films before. I'd seen like a couple of the Friday the 13th and Halloween films before, and I like don't get anything out of those. Like, I mean, like the first Halloween is like a classic. I'll watch that anytime, but like Coraline was a movie that genuinely terrified me, and I would argue that's what got me into horror. And I was pretty young when I saw that. I was probably 10 or 11. I don't remember. Yeah. So, No, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's like a bunch that I'm like, in retrospect, I was like, it's scary when you're a kid, but like when you're an adult, I was laughing at those scenes, if I'm being honest. I do want to give a special shout out to one more movie before we move on to the next question, and that's the original Back to the Future film. Like, that's
All
my
right.
dad's favorite movie, and he would show me that a bunch when I was a kid. And I would argue that's the movie that, like, I don't think I became like a cinephile from watching Back to the Future, but I became like a fan of movies because of the
Okay,
original Back
that's
to the
cool.
Future. And like,
Yeah.
that's a movie that my dad and I would just watch anytime, any day of the week. And it's just, and there's a lot about it that I like really, really love. And then now that I've become like a cinephile and when examining from that lens, like there's a lot of things that it does incredibly, incredibly well. Like the music is fucking awesome. The acting is great. The writing is really solid. Like I like the humor and the comedy. It's like, it's a perfect blockbuster. And it's like, if I'm going to start anywhere when it comes to like blockbuster films, like might as well start at the best, So anyway, that's it. We can
Yeah.
move on to the next question now. Yeah, that's a
Okay.
lot of people's like reasons for loving movies. Yeah, Star Wars is usually that movie for a lot of people. Yeah. I mean, I love Star Wars too. My dad fucking hates Star Wars. That's why like I couldn't get as much Star Wars shit as like all the other kids. Yeah, but like I loved Star Wars when I was younger. Yeah, so too bad the rest of the franchise sucks now. So anyway, next question.
Okay. This question's from good old Pon.
Hell yeah.
What are the most effective genre-bending pictures you've ever seen, and what makes them so?
Um,
I have a few answers if you guys want to think.
genre bending. Sorry, what was the question again? Let me.
What are the most effective genre-bending pictures you've ever seen, and why? Pretty much. Okay,
I guess I have one.
All right. Do you want
In
to go
terms of
first?
sci-fi, yeah. In terms of sci-fi, like 2001, I think is a perfect answer for something like that because it's like, it's like yes, it's a sci-fi film, but it's like it kind of goes beyond that, I guess, because it's like the movie is like just it's so epic in scale and yet so intimate in terms of like what it's trying to say in terms of like evolution and like our reliance on technology and all this other stuff and like but just like the way it's shot, like all those like practical like spin ship thingies like in space and stuff like that, and especially the last 10 minutes of the movie is just a fucking like mind fuck of a film, like I guess that would be my answer, 2001 for like sci-fi. But I guess I could say that for like most of Kubrick's films, right? Like The Shining. Yeah, The Shining is kind of like a genre bending
Yeah, I
film for
guess
like the
so.
horror genre. Yeah, so and you could say that about like I don't know, like Come and See. Like Come and See is also kind of genre bending in terms of like the war genre.
That's
as
a
well,
great
so.
one. That's
Yeah,
a good
and I
answer.
love that film. Come and See is scarier than most horror films I've seen. Like that's
Yeah,
how
literally.
fucking
Fuck.
effective it is. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's kind of genre bending because it's not. Yeah, it's kind of genre bending and because it's not tied to one genre, 'cause
Yeah,
it's like
I
yes,
was
it's a
gonna
kung
say
fu
that.
film, but it's also
Yeah.
a sci-fi film. It's also a drama. It's also a coming of age story. It's like all this shit. Like that's what makes it really
Comedy.
fucking awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
a comedy. Yeah, so
Okay. Okay. My first one is kind of weird. I know we spoke like a tiny bit about this movie earlier, so I'll try dance around spoilers for it.
Sure.
But my
yeah.
favorite film from last year, Spencer, it is like a
Great movie.
biopic,
Yeah.
but
But
also
not
like
really.
a surreal fucking trip biopic. So it kind of like breaks that barrier of like being a documentary about someone, but like it's not like Jackie where it's just like a rarely stylized documentary about someone. It's like a fucking surreal story
It becomes like a
encapsulating the mind
Satoshi
of
Kon
someone.
type shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
where it's like
yeah,
reality
it's
and
like-
like and fiction.
Satoshi
starts
Kon
getting
movies are
blended,
also
yeah.
good answers for this.
Oh
actually.
yeah. Speaking of which, yeah, Perfect Blue,
Yeah.
Millennium Actress, like Paprika,
Yeah.
like those movies in themselves are genre bending films. Jesus, yeah. So
Yeah. And then I also put here Funny Games. Funny
haven't
Games
seen
is
that
a
one,
great
yeah.
fucking genre bending movie because like it is like plays
I'm
off
vaguely
like a
aware
normal
what's it about. Yeah.
yeah, it plays off like a normal typical horror movie and then has like these fourth wall breaks and is like a commentary on horror movies in itself, whilst also being one of the most horrifying horror movies ever. And it's like it's really I have the original Funny Games, but you could kind of say this for both. I just like the original more.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that like really like
I've never
like
seen
pushes
either, so
what a horror movie is like and
Yeah.
what a horror movie has to say.
you got to
and yeah.
recommend these at some point. I really
I
want to
am
watch
going
Funny
to.
Games.
I
Yeah.
am going to. And then I also just put here The Lobster because it's like one of the weirdest fucking comedies ever, but I think it's great.
But you can say that
and
about
it,
like any Yorgos Lanthimos film.
Yeah,
like I would say
literally,
the Favorite is also
Yorgos
equally
Lanthimos as a
genre-bending.
whole, genre bending as well.
He is a genre bending guy.
Yeah. But
I would
yeah,
say
those
Quentin
are the ones that
Tarantino-
I had.
I would say Quentin Tarantino also kind of fits into that as well, because like a lot of his films, like you're just like kind of what they are, crime
But
movies, westerns,
Quentin
whatever.
Tarantino is a genre in himself now, so it's not really genre bending
I guess
anymore.
that's fair. Yeah.
Okay, next one. Okay, it's like a double question, but like we don't have to be too. We don't have to spend too much time on this one. Antonio asks, "What's your favorite food and favorite pizza topping?"
Yeah, no, I'm not a degenerate. Don't worry.
Are none of us pineapple enjoyers on pizza? Because I'm not.
Really, I don't really understand like like whatever you like, but I don't really understand like the practicality and like of like taste and stuff like that when it comes to shit like pineapple on pizza. I don't get it, but I guess my favorite food's Korean barbecue. I always like eating that whenever I want. So, and sushi.
Nice.
That's pretty
okay,
good.
let's all do favorite food and favorite pizza toppings. I love all sorts of pasta, like especially spaghetti bolognese, like ravioli, shit like that. I love any kind of pasta.
Yeah, pasta's great. Yeah, so
yeah, you can give me pasta and I'll fucking eat it. I love it.
I wanted to eat the pasta at the end of Moffie. That looked delicious. I was like, can I have a plate of that?
Yeah,
Like,
same. I was looking at that and I was like, fuck, I want some of that pasta. Yeah, Jules' favorite food? Oh yeah, ice cream as
Nice.
well. I fucking love ice cream, like shit. What's your
Yeah,
favorite
ice cream's
dessert
good.
kind of thing, Timmy?
I like cheesecake. Yeah, cheesecake's
Nice.
great. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay. And then favorite pizza toppings?
I'm kind of more basic on this. Usually I
Cheese,
go
yeah.
for
I'd hope.
I like pepperoni, but like I like a lot of shit on there. Like there was this quote that like Andy Dwyer from Parks and Recreation said, where it's like, sausage, peppers, and onions, scientifically the best pizza toppings. And ever since then, like usually that's just kind of what I get for my pizzas if I'm the one ordering sausage, peppers, and onions. So
Nice. Okay. What did you
Cool,
say, Jules?
yeah,
Cheese. Okay. Wait, whoa! I still gotta say mine. Wait, okay. No, fuck that shit.
That's
It's a hot
stupid.
dog.
Yeah.
Okay,
so-
my pizza toppings. Classic bacon and avo. That's my go-to pizza. Bacon and avo, and then
Bacon's
I mean,
great. Yeah.
everyone probably does this, but like some restaurants in South Africa, you have like a Mexicana pizza that has like minced chilies and red pepper on it.
That sounds good.
And,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
wanna
one of
have
my
that,
favorite
yeah.
pizzas too. So yeah. Yeah.
I
Okay.
agree. Yeah.
Last question. Oh, yeah. No.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry. Like, can we?
I
I was gonna say, I'm sorry. Could we actually move on to my recommendation? Because I'm actually kind of in a rush right now. So, and I feel like we've answered enough. I mean, if you want to ask the last question, it's fine. But I'm kind of in a rush.
just thought it was a very fitting question for like the.
Sure. I guess I can
stuff
answer
we
it then. Yeah. Let's do it. Sorry. Yeah.
If you're in a rush, you can just ask this question next time.
Yeah.
if you
Okay.
would
Sure.
like.
That's fine. Yeah. Just send it
Okay,
over.
because
next
I want to
time,
answer it. But okay, save this question for next time. Okay, yeah. What's your recommendation then? I guess.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, great. Yeah, ooh, yeah. I have had such a variety to choose from. There's not a lot of American movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But I was kind of deciding because there's like a ton. But I figured, I'm from Chicago, so I figured we should do a movie about Chicago. So my recommendation is a 1981 heist crime movie called Thief, directed by
Thief.
Michael Mann. Yeah.
Okay.
It stars James. Yeah, it stars James Caan, Jim Belushi, Tuesday
I've not
Weld.
seen this.
Sorry, yeah, Weld. I don't know. Yeah, it's the directorial debut of Michael Mann, who's most famous for movies like Heat, Collateral, that sort of thing. So, and I've been on an interest I've been on a binge in terms of like my interest with like Michael Mann's films, and I've never seen this movie, so I figured we should talk
Okay.
about it. So yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Do you guys know anything about this film? Have you guys heard of it?
Nope. I've seen the poster before, and that's it.
Okay, great. Yeah, cool. All right, great. Yeah, then let's do it then. All right, if you don't want to be spoiled for Thief, 1981, directed by Michael Mann, make sure you watch it because we're gonna spoil the crap out of it next episode. So
Alrighty.
yeah, get ready to thief your way into the next episode. That was
Get ready
stupid.
to
I don't know what I was
steal
saying.
our hearts
Yeah.
in the next episode.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
well,
yeah.
thank you
All right.
everyone for this
Thank
episode.
you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.